Alright, so we finally got the big project here. This is the Corvette truck, the LT1 in a 93 Chevy. Oh, and today we got a lot of work to do. It's probably going to be multiple days. We're going to be filming this. But you can see that motor has no wires on it. So I went and got a painless harness that's sitting over there. I'm going to try to slap this thing on, possibly get it turning over tonight. But probably not. But first thing we got to do is grab this battery right here and go put it on that charger. And then I'll get to work throwing this harness in, and I might not get most of it on video, if any of it, because I'm out here by myself. So I'm going to try to get this thing, start getting it routed and put on there, and we'll just move from there. So that's the bird's nest that has to go in there. All that has to go inside the cab, but I have yet to figure out which side of the cab I'm going in with that at. Probably going to do the passenger side just for ease of access, even though that's kind of bass-ackwards to do. So let's get started. Alright, so it's the next day. Sadly, we did not get to turn it over yesterday. I was missing a couple nuts off of the starter, which I have picked up a couple of those right here. So what we're going to try to do today is make sure none of these wires are touching for when I add power. And we're going to hook that thing up, the little doodad down there. Run some wires from there up to ye old battery right here, which is over there charging. And we're going to see if we can get this thing to turn over today. And if I can, that'll be a success. And we know that we can come back tomorrow and try to get this thing all tidied up, make it cute. Alright, so after crawling under there and looking and reading up a little more on the installation instructions, we're not going to be able to put that in today or get it turned over today. I have to make ground straps because they didn't come with a harness, and I don't really have time to do that today during the week, so it's probably going to be tomorrow or Saturday before I can get ground straps made and hooked up. And then we got to see this thing turn over, make sure it don't make no crazy noises, and make that bird's nest not a bird's nest anymore. So I'll probably pick this thing back up if I manage to do something productive tomorrow, or if not, it'll be Saturday. Alright, so big update. We've been doing a lot of work off camera. We did manage to get the old harness spliced in. You can see the new harness is off of it, so we could get all this figured out and where we need it to go. So we were really trying to just get it to turn on first, the interior turn on, and then get the motor to turn over. Which, if you want to see, I'll give you a little light. It turns over. If you want to come here, you'll see the interior comes on now, which is a pretty big deal. So now we can get to making that look pretty and tossing that old new engine harness on, and then we'll probably call it there. Alright, so I don't know what the last thing I filmed on this was. I don't even know the last day. But the update so far is we got the fuel pump in. That was a big pain. The headers will fit. Hey, Kevin. The headers will fit. We're going to try to get those installed and the lower half of the exhaust put on. Then I got to run fuel pump power, which is easier said than done because we also have a couple gauges that aren't reading. I got to put spark plugs in. I got to cut a hole in the firewall. And then I've got to splice in a couple more wires, and we should be set to start this thing. Alright guys, so the emotion of the day today is hate. Because right now, I hate this truck, I hate that engine, and I hate those exhaust manifolds. Those are TBI manifolds that I'm trying to put on this LT1 because they'll just bolt right up to the current exhaust system and I ain't got to do too much work. Well, one of those holes back there decides that they hate me. I don't know what happened to it. It was probably already damaged and I just didn't catch it. And these have slightly different mounting holes, so I got to waller out those two back there on both manifolds. That way, these four will fit. I have no clue how I'm going to fix that down there because it is in that gap right there, tucked up against the firewall. So I got to do that. I've got to fix some of that wiring mess up there. This probably looks horrendous because of the lighting. I've got to fix some of that wiring. Got to get the fuel pump to turn on. Get that. Get a bolt for the balancer. Hook it up and we can ride out. Well, not ride out. We can hear it crank up. So probably when we pick up, I'll have wired those out right there. Put them on there. Got those bolted up and we're going to be putting the harness in. So maybe by the end of this video, we'll have this thing crunk up because it's been like 3 weeks since I posted a video. Whew. So I guess I'll see you whenever I make some progress. Alright, so this is the next day. To fit these, what I've done so far is drill these holes out pretty big with the biggest bit that I got. So these are as big as it can go. Because it is about, I don't even know, maybe an 1/8 inch off from the bolt going in. So I just went ahead and gave it room to move all the way around the board. And then I'm going to tap these. I'm going to go slap this side on at least. Then I'm going to see what I can do for the stud on this one. Then it's time to get that thing to run. So mission was successful with these. All 6 of them are in. Now I just got to tighten it up. I hope nothing strips out or does anything crazy. Then I got to get over there and do stuff because I'm an idiot and missed one of those threads being messed up. Oh, then we can cut a hole in the firewall, throw all this good stuff on, and make our own custom fuel lines and roll out. Alright, so I got a big update for you. I got the headers on, missing an exhaust gasket, got 7 spark plugs, and no idea how to make that whole issue up there with the fuel lines work yet. But we are about hooking those fuel lines up and that harness, hooking up that harness away from this thing turning over and trying to run. But it's getting late today. I want to go spend time with my little girl, so I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. That should be like an hour. And then we have to clean it all up, make it look nice. So that's it for today. We'll pick this back up tomorrow. Alright guys, so I got some good progress made here. I got the exhaust on, everything under it took care of. You see I cut a hole in the firewall right about there. You got to untangle this spider web. Got a couple fuel lines over there that got to be hooked up. And we should be good to go. So I'm going to get inside, wire up a couple things out here. We should be set. Try to crank this thing up. So next time I pick this camera up, it's probably going to be to crank this thing up. So let's get to it. Alright, so you can see I've got this laid in here for the transmission's sake. I've got all that wired up. I'm not going to lie to you, I already tried to start it once, but the fuel pump wasn't turning on. I just jumped it so it would turn on. I think I might have a bad relay. And I have those fuel lines right there hooked up. kind of looks a little blurry on the video. I hope it's good. But I'm going to hop in there and I'm going to try to fire it up. I'm going to try to get y'all an angle of me. Alright, so I hope the video's looking alright. I can't really tell because I don't have a monitor for the camera. But I've never heard this motor run. I was told it was pulled out so they could do an LS swap. I don't know how much truth there was to that. But I've been working at this thing all week. Something fierce. So I'm going to cycle the key a couple times, see if I can get fuel pressure up, if I hear it jump off or not. And I'm going to try to turn it over. I hear the fuel pump running. I'm going to do it one more time. Alright, moment of truth. Didn't work. Let's see. Okay, something's not happy. I'm gonna have to go take a look. Alright, so the winning theory right now is that I have those two lines backwards, because if I got the feed going into the return, it's not gonna get fuel to these injectors. So I'm gonna swap those around real quick and we're gonna try it again. Alright, so we did not get it started today. It seemed like it wanted to fire off when I used starting fluid, but that was off camera. The likely scenarios are either the OptiSpark is bad or the ECM is bad. ECM's kind of more on the unlikely side. So those motors don't use crank position sensors. They use the OptiSpark sensor to get injector pulse and spark. So, or at least that's my understanding of it. So we've got to go back to the drawing board on that. I got to do some more diagnosing. I got to get a scanner. So maybe next video we'll have it running, or at least that's the plan. Which the plan was to have it running this time, that didn't happen. So it's really back to the drawing board. I should be able to get my hands on an OptiSpark off of another vehicle here in the next week or so. But an ECM would be a whole different story. So I have to get a scanner, and y'all see all that in the next video.